friends, it's Laura, and today I want to share with you a technique that I've developed that I think really lifts the eye using eyeshadows. Now, I've had the problem of drooping eyes since around the age of 50. I noticed that this skin above my orbital bone was starting to sag a little bit, and part of the problem is as we age, we lose fat in this area, and so we get more sunk in, and as this is drooping and this is disappearing, shadows just don't apply the same. So I'm going to share with you my technique that I found that I think really gives my eyes a lifted look. The technique I'm going to show you today is really in the shape of these cat ears. When I first developed this, I thought I want to do something simple also that I can replicate every day. What I was finding is one day my eyeshadows would look great and the next minute they didn't. And I also wanted to develop a technique where I wouldn't spend so much time in the morning applying my shadow. I wanted to be able to get out the door to school quickly and have my eyes look consistently the same. So this is what I've come up with. For this eye look, I'm going to use the ColourPop Take Me Home. I picked this up over at Ulta. What I like is it's a very affordable palette, and it has light, medium, and dark shades, which is what you need for this look. Now, it's not the perfect palette because the medium shade has a little bit of gold sparkle in it, but it's not that noticeable, and when everything's blended out, I think it works. I will be starting on the bottom lash line on the outer third of the eye with a line and taking the brush and going right to the tail of my brow, then going at an angle right here where the my brow sort of ends there before the arch, and that will give me a cat ear look. Now, I'll be filling in this section with the same shade and then doing some blending, but the angle I'm going at is like this with the cat ear. So I'm going from here to here. I'm starting with this medium shade here and in the outer third right here, and I'll be drawing a line. I'm going to try to make it a little bit darker than I normally would so you can see it on camera. But the line goes right to the tail of my brow. Then I get a little more product on the brush and draw a line down to the bone here. And it's even with where my brow ends here, the wider part of the brow where it starts going into the arch. So this is the line that I create to start. All right, so now I'm going to do the other eye. Again, I start in the outer third, come up. Now, the thing with my eyes is I have two different eyes. So this really helps because I'm going to the tail of it. I'm fitting the eye look to this eye instead of just drawing this the exact same way. So I'm going to come up from here and draw the line right to the tip of this brow. Now I go back into the product, start where I stopped, and go down to the bone at an angle. I know it looks like a lot when you look at it right now that I have these cat ears on my eyes, but I promise you at the end everything will be blended and beautiful and you won't even see cat ears anymore. You'll just see a lifted eye. Now the next step I do is I just keep going with that pencil brush, and I'm going to fill in the section of skin that's not colored there where the cat ear is with product like I'm coloring in a coloring book page. So I'm just going to fill it in, but only in this spot. I'm not taking any on the mobile lid at all. So I'm just tapping product in, and then I'll tap it in on this side. I just want to make sure the color is complete, and I'll smooth out that line a little bit. If the line looks jagged because of the skin in that area, then I just go over it like this, and that looks pretty even now. Next, I'm going to make another mini cat ear, but what I'll be doing is just putting it in the outer corner right on top of this shadow. So I'm dipping not into the very darkest but the next darkest shade, and I'm going to draw a little mini cat ear. So I'm just going inside this in like the outer third, And I'm not taking this shadow down into the bottom lash line. I can see at the end if it doesn't look intense enough, I could add a little more, but for right now, I'm just going to leave the shadow that I have. And then I'm filling in this in the outer part of the eye. I'm not bringing it into the inner part at all. So let me do this side. I'm going to bring it up. I'm drawing right on the original line that I drew for the first shade. So I'm drawing over that and then bringing it down here. So I have another mini cat ear, and then I'm going to I'm tapping in the product in there just like I did with the other one. I'm going to go back here, tap a little more. And now it's time to apply some shadows to the lid and start blending all of it out. I just applied some of the Essence I Love Color Intensifying Eyeshadow Primer. I really do like this for the lids. It's so inexpensive. And then the MAC Prep and Prime I put on my brush because, I'm going to put a little more, I'm going to be using this gold shadow on the lid. So let's go ahead and dip into that, and I feel that gives it much more staying power. And I'm going to pat my entire mobile lid with the gold. My daughter says this brush is so big she could land a plane on it, but it's a Sonia Kashuk brush, and I really do like it for putting product on my lids. One more thing before we blend. In this section where I have applied no shadow at all, I'm going to use the Makeup Revolution concealer. I'm putting some on my hand because I just want to dab it with my finger. And what I do is pick a lighter concealer that's thin, nothing that's too sticky, and go in this section where I have absolutely no shadow so that it brightens the area, but won't be full of shadow there. And I just put this on before I start blending. One thing that helps blend out this look is to put a very neutral pale shadow along the edges of where the lines are I've drawn. So I'm going to dip into this shade. It's sort of a yellowy neutral, and I am going to brush over the edge of the lines with it and then start doing some circular motions to blend it out so you don't see any of the lines. So this is my blending so far on the right eye. One thing I've done is brought the shadow right up to the hairs on the brow here, and also I took a little bit of this lighter shade and put it on the inner corner and even over a little bit of the concealer that I put under the brow. I'm blending out my left eye now. I've loaded some of the light shade into my brush, and as you see, I'm not doing any huge movements, huge circles with the brush. I'm just touching the skin and almost just moving it a little bit. And what I'm not doing is taking the shadows up. I'm trying to bring everything center. So if I'm working on the bottom of the eye, I'm sort of brushing towards the inner part. And when I work on the top, I'm also bringing it down because I don't want my entire eye to be one color. I want to keep that lifted look. So I'm working towards the center. So if you want it to look a little more intense, maybe for evening, what I'm going to do now is dip into the darkest brown in the palette and run a little bit under my eye and right next to the lash line so it will make my eyes pop a little bit more. this is the finished eye look. I hope this was helpful for you. Now this is also a giveaway. I have a box of the Lana Cream Bee Venom Face Mask that so many of you have been looking for at Marshall's. I'm so excited to give this to one of you. If you're interested in the comments, please put Be Mine and I'll put you in the giveaway. Thanks again. I appreciate you.